Welcome to KHM Today, your weekly resource for industry news and straight up fun. I'm your host, Carolyn Orff, and today is December 14th, 2022. I hope everyone has had a great week so far. I think I have finally stopped swaying from being on a ship last week. Thank you so much, Carnival Cruise Lines, for hosting such a beautiful event. It was a ton of fun and just such a beautiful, beautiful ship. It is 4 days until the start of Hanukkah. Are you ready? It's just a few days more until Christmas and Kwanzaa, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm just a bit behind. So I've got some work to do this weekend if there are going to be any presents under that tree this year. So just a couple of updates before we jump into a fantastic show today. As you may recall, the good folks from TSA were here a few weeks ago talking about Real ID. If you haven't seen it yet, that date has been pushed once again to May 7th, 2025. But let's still be encouraging all of our clients to get the correct identification so they can travel now. As a reminder, this does not replace a passport. I've seen a few Facebook posts about that. Thankfully, not from our agents, but from consumers and things like that. Real ID does not replace a passport. You still need one to travel outside the country. So today is our 10th day of learning, everyone, and I'm very, very excited about this one. So let me warm up my voice. On the 10th day of learning, KHM gave to me a brand new Travel Leaders Network coordinator. Denise Duker, you guys, you met her in October. She has been working with you guys on Agent Profiler. Guess what? She has created a webinar specifically for Agent Profiler, which is now in Destination 3. It is live. It's fantastic. So if you are not sure what Agent Profiler is, if you're not sure how to get started with it, go in there, watch this video. Her email address is on there. You are welcome to follow the steps as to how to engage with her and start getting that profile set up. It's an amazing free resource to all of our agents, and we hope you'll take advantage of it. So it's in Destination 3 starting today. Also, don't forget to upload your videos, sharing with KHM Facebook agent only page, your favorite educational event or event that you've been to over the last several years. Don't forget to hashtag KHM Today and tag Bill Coyle and myself so we see those. On Friday during Bill's Live, we are going to draw one lucky winner for $50 in KHM cash that can be used towards a 2023 event. So we've had some really good ones, some creative ones. So keep posting those videos because we love to hear your thoughts on events. All right, you guys, we had some technical difficulties a few weeks ago, but back today for our Expanding the Lens segment is Miss Jana Jackson. It was a pleasure to meet her in our boot camp. I believe it was May. She has a background in gospel music and became an agent with KHM Travel Group just as COVID was hitting the world. Jana is legally blind and is here today to share her experience as a travel advisor in our Expanding the Lens segment. Hi, Jana.
Hi, Carolyn. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you've just kind of knocked my socks off, and I'm sure you remember this, but you came to our event. We chatted a little bit ahead of time as far as
Yes.
what resources we could provide to you or tools, and you were sitting in the row. And you kind of were just doing your thing. And finally, I think on the second day, I said, sit down with me for a second. You got to tell me what's going on here because I can't figure out what it is and how you're doing what we're doing all at the same time. So, what sort of tools do you have available to you in your home office to help you book travel the way I'm booking travel?
Sure. Well, so first of all, I do have a computer that is equipped with what is called a screen reader. And a screen reader basically allows a blind person, to know what's on the screen either through synthetic speech, so it's talking to you, or through a braille display. And I'll explain what that is in a minute, but it allows a blind person to read what's on the screen in braille. Now I use both of those tools. Well, so I use, there are a bunch of different screen screen reader programs out there. I use the most popular one, which is called JAWS for Windows. JAWS stands for Job Access with Speech. And yes, their logo is a shark. So I use that, and I use a lot of times I use the Braille display because I prefer to not have to have that speech yakety yakking at me all the time.
Mhm.
So I will use that. But what I use that for is mainly with my iPhone. So I can do stuff on the go too if I'm out and about. And for qualification purposes, if I'm just talking to a client, finding out what they want to do, I will just take notes using the Braille display, which does have a simple, what they call a scratch pad in there, so that you can write your notes down. And then I will transfer that to the computer later so that I can put it in the CRM or whatever I need to do with it. So
That's amazing. Just
yeah,
amazing. Um,
yeah.
Throughout your journey as a travel advisor, what's something that's surprised you?
Oh, well, I would say that I'm surprised at how, because of for being a home-based agent, I felt so inadequate when I first started out doing this. And I was surprised by the fact that it was so easy to get like caught up on the destinations, and how you can take a webinar or a simple training course in 20 minutes. You can know what you need to know to
Mhm.
sell a particular destination if you've never been there. In my case, I haven't even seen pictures of it,
Right.
so you can know whatever you need to know to speak confidently about it. And so I was amazed by that part, and just very, very surprised by
Have you
that.
found that most of the suppliers have the capability for you to use the screen readers and things like that? Are all of their websites and trainings compatible with your needs?
No.
And
But
we don't need to name who's not,
no,
but
no,
have you
we're
found that
not
the
going to name. We're
majority
not going to
are?
name. We won't name any names, but I will tell you. I will pick and choose. Like, one thing I've learned in using the suppliers is, like, if I'm researching a particular destination, I might use a tool from one supplier that, maybe the booking process might be easier on another one, but I might use a tool for one supplier to look up, say, hotels. There's one particular supplier. Can I name who it is?
Sure.
This is a positive one. There's one particular supplier that has excellent, the way their hotel information is set up is excellent for me, and that's Vacation Express. It's
Okay.
just, I'm just ready to go. It's just all
Yeah.
right there. And it's got links that are clearly labeled. So if I want to go to another part of the information, I can. It's just wonderful. So I use them a lot just to read up, and they've got I mean, they've got so much information on there. So I could spend hours just reading about the different hotels, and sometimes I do. Because
Well, I
I
think we
just enjoy
all
it.
do that. That's just not you. That's all of us.
Is that
So,
right?
oh, it's all of us. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
let me ask you this. You recently had an opportunity to go down to Cancun for a little bit of a vacation.
I
When
did.
when I go down there, and do site visits, I am looking at different things. How does
Yeah.
that experience look to you? Because you're not seeing the pools and you're not seeing this, but you're getting something from that visit.
Oh, absolutely. So in this particular case, the we stayed at the what is it? The Royalton Cancun Riviera Maya, the
Uh-huh.
hotel and casino. We stayed there, and what I was struck by was just the excitement. There's just this feeling of, hey, you are going to have a great time. If it's the last thing we do, we're going to make sure you have a great time. And everybody is so happy. They're happy that you're there. They're very welcoming. And there was, if you anywhere you walked, there was something going on all the time. If we walked by the pool or the beach, there was music playing and people laughing and having a good time. And so it just made you so happy to be there, and even just listening, and listening to them doing the games and everything. So that's
you're getting a sense of the property using other senses besides your sight. You might be
absolutely
picking up on the smells and
the
things like that.
smells, the noise, the sounds, the taste. Oh my goodness, the taste, the food. I just couldn't eat enough. And when I found out they had a coffee shop that I could go to as much as I wanted to, oh honey, I was happy as could be. And then we took a catamaran trip, where they have the snorkeling and the swimming. Now I didn't do that part because my feet were swollen, and I had such a hard time getting on that ship that I wasn't going to jump off into the ocean and try to get back up there.
Right.
So I let my buddy Rodney, my assistant that I call my nephew, he went with me, and so I let him do the snorkeling and the swimming. But I just enjoyed the music and the food and the people. And we went to the Isla Mujeres beach, which is lovely. And I enjoyed walking around in there. I put my feet in the little pool where the fish eat all the dead skin off. Can you believe I did that? I did, Carolyn. I can't believe I did it. It was hilarious.
That must have really felt interesting.
It felt like a current going through your legs. I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. I hope it works. And of course, I did a massage, which is always, you can't go wrong with that, no matter where you are in the world.
Right, right.
And so I did that. But it was just a marvelous 3 days. It was only 3 days, but we walked all over the hotel. We went to where the kids were playing, and Rodney was describing all of that for me. I love when people will tell me about things, and say, so, we've got this lagoon pool, and there's all these slides, and the kids are just having a ball. There's all this stuff they can play on, and blah blah blah. And he was talking about, I would never be able to get my kids out of this. They would stay here all day. And
I would imagine that you oftentimes say the phrase, "Tell me more." Tell me more.
Yes.
As you're walking through a property.
Yes. And I'll ask questions. Well, what color is that? Well, what does that look like? What are the trees? What are the Christmas trees like? I forgot to ask that question, but are they different from how they are here? Is there anything different in Mexico, in Cancun? How are they celebrating Christmas?
Well, what a great exercise in trying to describe things to clients, because we all,
yes,
and in usually a written form, or sometimes we're speaking it. So to be able to put into words and really think about how to describe a pool or what the rooms look like, that's a really cool exercise.
yes, it really is. It was just, it was a wonderful experience. I just wish it could have been a week instead of 3 days. That's my only complaint.
Right. Well, Jana, thank you so much for being here and being willing to answer questions that might seem silly to you, but it's a way for us to get to know you better and how you work as an advisor. That's different from the way I'm working on a daily basis. So I appreciate your willingness to share your thoughts with me.
Oh, anytime.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday season. And I know we'll see you soon at another KHM event, right?
Yes. And you guys have a great holiday season as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, you guys, I just love learning about how people work within this industry. It's just the coolest thing. So I'm excited for our next couple of guests. I was not here the last time this gentleman was a guest on our show. Please welcome Brian Kalarchik, Account Director with Viator. Along with us, one of our favorites, Matt Walgren from the education team. Hello, both of you.
Hey-o. Thank you for having me. It's good to actually speak with you this time.
I know. Where's Matt here? Did he fall off?
I don't know. Let's see if I can find him.
Sam's going to tell me what happened to him. She's chatting me here. Oh, Matt's gone. Where did he go?
Uh-oh.
Well, we'll see if he comes back. If not, I'll share his thoughts. Maybe he had an emergency. Let's see if he sent me a text. Nope. Okay. So, Brian, we're so glad you're here today because we're going to talk about our favorite holiday tours that can be out there. So, what are some of the biggest sellers when you look at tours that can be booked through Viator during this holiday season?
The number one location we see tours really being sold in the most is in New York. And they're the most vibrant with like the type of tour styles that we have. Like we have tours that are even on a boat that's going around the Statue of Liberty, or we have one that's going to Van Dyke's, a very famous Christmas location that you're going to. There's really like this was actually a fun research project to do because I was shocked by how many actual holiday tours that we have on our platform. We actually sell about 4,000 tours, and about 2,000 were just uploaded for this season.
Wow. Well, Van Dyke's was one of the ones that I found. And if I remember correctly, Van Dyke's is a neighborhood in Brooklyn that is very, very popular for the Christmas lights. And I believe one year a house did win the Christmas light fight from that neighborhood. But do you know the other thing that I know you can see if you're in that same neighborhood?
What's that?
It is the largest menorah. It's 32 feet tall, and it is at, let me see, it is at the Brooklyn Museum, I believe. No, where is it? It's in Diker Heights in Brooklyn, but it's the largest menorah. So you can go there as well. And then at the Brooklyn Museum, they have this huge latke festival. So there's lots to do in that area, no matter what your faith is, which I think is cool. Matt, you had a really fun one that we can visit when we are in Cleveland, and I can't believe no one ever told me this before.
Yeah, I had to throw this one in there. So it's the house from A Christmas Story. You know that early 1980s movie where the kid just wants a BB gun and everybody's going to tell him that he's going to shoot his eye out. So yeah, that one. So there's actually a couple of different tours on Viator that you can book that includes touring that house. So you'll go into Viator, use that search feature, stuff will come up. It includes a lot of other things too, but I thought this was the highlight and something really different. And I'm really hoping, because we have a lot of agents in Ohio, and Cleveland is where the house is located, right? And it's just outside our headquarters, KHM's headquarters. So maybe someone will go over there. Maybe someone's been there and they can tell us what it's like. I was actually talking to Charlie Sylvia from CLIA recently, and so he's been wanting to rent out the house. So apparently you can rent out the house if you want to for your family and friends. So how cool would that be for your clients who love A Christmas Story and who doesn't love A Christmas Story?
I just think it's hilarious. This is the first time hearing of it. Like, I feel like this is something that should be like on every brochure. Right? Yeah. Okay. So Brian, what's your next favorite?
So one of my favorites I saw when I was doing this research was in San Francisco, where the supplier just uploaded a product where everyone dresses in Santa outfits and they tour all the way to the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, all on Segways for a full 2-hour tour. I was